Good afternoon, folks. And in the spirit of this most holy of weeks, happy Passover, happy Easter, and happy Ramadan to all. We welcome you to a great day of baseball between the Cape Henry Dolphins and the Cougars from Collegiate High School in Richmond. I'm Chris Souther, and I'm joined by our student tech team today, consisting of Wyatt, our camera person, Sarah is working the scoreboard, and Brianna is working audio. The Cougars entered today's game with a record of 9-1 and ranked number 1 in the state of Virginia. They have scored 101 runs in 10 games and are 3-1 on the road. The Dolphins are currently 10-2 and ranked 16th in the state. They have scored 96 runs in 12 games and they are perfect 8-0 at home. So this is an evenly matched game in a very competitive state for baseball. Should be a good test for the Dolphins, who are the defending state champions. Weather-wise, we have a beautiful day. Slight breeze moving in from left field into home plate. Temperatures are in the low 80s, and the field's in excellent shape thanks to the hardworking athletic department and field crew from Cape Henry Collegiate. Let's begin with the visiting Cougars starting lineup. The Cougars are coached by Andrew Slater. Batting first, number 14, Hank Shield. He's in center field. Batting second, number 4, Hartley Rahman. He's at short. Batting third, number 25, Carter Mitchell in left field. Batting fourth, number 11, Hayden Rawlinson at third. Batting fifth, number 16, Jack Callahan. He's at first base. Batting sixth, number 5, Will Slater, catching. Batting seventh, number 21, Jet Bristow. He's the DH. Batting eighth, number 3, Miles Prusik. He's at second base. And batting ninth, number 10, Silas Gathway. And he's in right field. Their pitcher today is number 8, Malcolm Pace. Defensively, the Dolphins will have Garrison White on the mound, Cooper Angley behind the plate, Parker White at first, Chris Martinez at second, Yoon Chi at shortstop, Jack Wickham at third. In left field, we have in left field, we have Tanner Shadle. In center field, Andrew Hart. And in right field, Nate Jensen. The Dolphins are coached by Chris Dotello, assistant coaches William Chadwick and Ian Morrison. And finally, our umpires today, we have Stan behind home plate and Frank in the field. And our first pitch is a line shot to the left fielder, Tanner Shadle, and he's under it and makes the first out of the game. So, sit back and enjoy some really good baseball in the 757 here in Virginia Beach at Cape Henry Collegiate with the number 1 ranked Cougars from Collegiate versus the 16th ranked Dolphins. Second batter is Hartley Rahman, the shortstop. And the second pitch in is a little high, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the first inning. And there's a line shot down the left field line that is foul. Garrison White pitched a gem of a game last home stand here. Pitched a complete 7-inning, 2-hit game. Got the win against Walsingham. And delivers an inside strike 3. So swinging strike for Rahman. And that's the second out of the inning. And that brings up number 25, Carter Mitchell, the left fielder. As I said, the Cougars are 9-1. They lost to Miller School in Charlottesville. And the first pitch is swinging in a strike 1. Ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the first. Not a super big crowd here today for a Thursday afternoon. Swinging strike 2. Beautiful day here. A little breezy, but nice day. And the pitch. Swinging ground ball to the shortstop. Yoon comes up with it, makes a beautiful throw over to first base for the 3rd out. So the Cougars go down 1-2-3. And that'll bring up the Cape Henry Dolphins. And now here is their starting lineup. Leading off, number 35, Chris Martinez, the second baseman. Batting second, number 26, Jack Wickham, third base. Batting third, number 1, Tanner Shadle, left field. Batting fourth, number 14, Cooper Angley, the catcher. Batting fifth, number 12, Parker White, first base. Batting sixth, number 4, Andrew Hart, center field. Batting seventh, number 3, Yoon Chi, and he's at short. Batting eighth, number 34, Nate Jensen, he's in right field. And batting ninth, number 20, Trey Taylor, and he's a DH today. As I mentioned, Garrison White is pitching. He's number 11. On the bump for the Cougars is left-hander, number 8, Malcolm Pace. So here we go in the bottom of the first inning. And leading off for the Dolphins is number 35, Chris Martinez. So here we go in the bottom. And the first pitch from Pace is a swinging strike. Strike on the inside corner for strike 2. And Martinez lines a beautiful base hit into right field. And so the Dolphins have the first hitter aboard. Martinez with a nice hit into the right field gap there. So the Dolphins have their first batter aboard, and that brings up number 26, Jack Wickham, the third baseman. And Wickham swings and strikes at the first pitch. Jack's batting .321 right now. He's got 6 RBIs and a homer. He takes down but a strike called. So he's 0-2 with Martinez at first base. Wickham just fouls that one off. No balls, 2 strikes. Martinez at first. Bottom of the first, no score. And Jack takes a call, third strike. That was a nice curveball thrown by Pace, the pitcher. And that brings up number 1, Tanner Shadle. And he lines a ball to the shortstop, throws over to second for 1, and an errant throw to first that goes up and over the fence, and so Shadle will go down to second. So fielder's choice there. Tanner goes to second base on the error. Martinez is out at second base for the second out. And that brings up the catcher, Cooper Angley. Cooper's currently batting .241. And he swings and misses at the first pitch. He's got a chance to get a run home if he can get the ball out of the infield. Tanner's got good speed at second base. Pace looks back at second. And he delivers. And that's ball, and that's going to be past the catcher. And so Tanner goes down to third base. So now the Dolphins have their first runner 90 feet from home. 1-1 count, 2 outs to Cooper Angley. Cooper's got 7 RBIs on the season. Let's see if he can make it 8 here. Takes ball outside. Ball in the dirt. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. We'll see if Angley's taking here to see the offering. If he gets something, he'll probably swing. He does, and he lines a drive into the left field, and that's going to score a run. So Angley comes through with his RBI single. And that's the first run of the game, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Parker White. Parker's hitting .389 for the season. He's got 4 home runs. He's the power hitter on this team, and he takes high up, ball 1. Low outside, ball 2. So Pace was cruising right along. Gave up a single, but then got Wickham to strike out. Shadle hit into a fielder's choice that should have been a double play, but the second baseman threw a wild throw over to first base, allowing Shadle go to second. Tanner went to third on a pass ball and scored on Angley's base hit to left. So the Dolphins manufactured a run there. They still got a runner on first, Angley. Parker White takes outside, ball 3. So it looks like they're pitching around Parker. So 3-0 count, 2 outs. Let's see if they give him the green light. And he takes down the middle for strike 1. Up, just off the inside of the plate, so he's aboard, ball 4. So Parker draws a walk. Moves Cooper Angley down to second base, and that brings up the center fielder, number 4, Andrew Hart. Andrew's batting .324 for the season. He's got 11 hits, 7 RBIs. Swings and misses at the first pitch here. Dolphins have manufactured their first run on 2 outs. See if they can add to that tally. He takes a curveball in for strike 2. And he lines a ball over the shortstop's head, and that's going to score Angley, who was running with the pitch. And so Andrew Hart comes up big with a base hit over the shortstop, and that's the second Dolphin run. Parker White goes down to second base, and that'll bring up the shortstop, number 3, Yoon Chi. Yoon is batting .379 for the year, 8 RBIs and 11 hits. And Pace turns around, gets Parker White back to second base, but nothing on here. Dolphins have 2 outs, 2 on, 2 runs in, and their shortstop is at bat. And he swings through a pitch, foul tip back into the glove. Catching today is Will Slater. No balls, 1 strike. He fouls it back for strike 2. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the first. Collegiate High School Cougars went down 1-2-3 in the first. Dolphins have put up 2 runs here, and they're threatening still with a man on first and second. And there's a call, 3rd strike on the outside corner. A little bit outside, but Pace, the pitcher for the Cougars, gets the call, and that'll do it for the Dolphins. But they come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 men left on, and after 1 inning, it's the Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins 2 and the Collegiate Cougars nothing. As I mentioned, Garrison White is pitching today. Garrison has got an ERA of 3.09. He's got 1 win. He's appeared in 6 games. He's got a save as well. So 3.09 ERA, 6 appearances, 1 win, and 1 save. So here we go. Top of the second inning, and leading off is the first baseman, number 16, Jack Callahan. I don't have any statistics for the Cougars. They didn't post anything on the Max Prep website. So I'll only be able to tell you what they've done in this game today. Callahan takes a ball right down the middle for strike 1. So we are started off in the top of the second. Curveball, and that ball is going to go for a base hit between the second baseman and third baseman. So Callahan puts the ball in play on the second ball that he sees, and he drives it through the hole for a base hit. So the Cougars have their first runner aboard, and that brings up mistake there. That was Hayden Rollinson. This is Callahan now, the first baseman. And Callahan takes a curveball, strike one. Sorry, Hayden. So Hayden Rollinson is the one that got that hit. He's our third baseman for the Cougars, and he's back in time. Garrison throws over to his brother Parker at first base. So Callahan is up to bat. He's got one strike on him. And White throws over to White again. Almost gets Rollinson. He's got to go back in a hurry. And there's a pitch on the outside corner, strike two. So Garrison White in front of Callahan, 0-2, runner on first, Rollinson. Throws over, but nothing on there. Not sure what the scouting report says about Rollinson, whether he's got speed or not, but Garrison is paying lots of attention to him. Oh and 2 count. And the pitch. And it's grounded again into the hole between third and short. And so Callahan now has his hit. So the Cougars 2 up and 2 on. Same exact spot. So after going down 1-2-3, the number 4 and 5 hitter reach here in the second inning. And that'll bring up the 6 hitter, Will Slater, the catcher. Dolphins catcher, Cooper Angley, who's committed to Rhodes College. He's got a good arm back there. Good defensive catcher as well. He did do almost all the catching last year when the Dolphins won the state championship. Experienced senior. So he goes out to talk to Garrison White, maybe calm him down, tell him what the new signs are going to be. We'll see what the Cougars can do here. Garrison steps off towards second, but nothing going. Yoon, the shortstop, is playing close to second base, and Garrison is a little unsettled out there on the mound. He's stepped off twice now. Not sure if the runners are bothering him or he and Angley are not on the same page, but here he delivers the first pitch, and it's ball. Oh, it's called for a strike. Strike one. Curveball on the outside corner. Coach Slater for the Cougars is at third base. And there's a swinging foul strike, and that caught Angley. Can't tell if it got him in the arm or the leg, but home plate umpire is going to go out and take a little time. Thank you, umpire Stan. Giving Angley a little bit of time. He'll clean off the plate as well. So no balls, 2 strikes now on the hitter, Will Slater, catcher for the Cougars. Be a nice time for a ground ball to the third baseman here. Steps on third and can go to second or first for a double play. And instead it's a foul ball back. Oh, and there's a ball that was just a little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the second, no outs. Runners on first and second. 2-0 Cape Henry Dolphins over the Collegiate Cougars. Garrison steps off again. And the pitch. And that's foul back. Cougars come in scoring almost 10 runs a game. As I mentioned, they've scored 94 runs in 10 games. And they're threatening here in the top of the second. And the pitch. And foul back. Slater is hanging in there. And now Angley will come out. The coach will come out, Tatello. And the Dolphins are going to talk it over here in the infield. Home plate umpire starts towards the mound. Dolphins coach departs. Instructions have been given. People were told what to do. And after all that, we go back to playing baseball. One ball, two strikes. Runners on first and second. No outs. And the pitch. And that is lined to the shortstop, who makes a nice play over to second and to first for a double play. And that's a beauty right there. So 6-4-3 double play. Chris Martinez, the freshman, made a nice turn at second base. And that gets us 2 outs. That brings up the DH, Jet Bristow, number 21. And he lines a ball into right field on his first pitch. And so that double play was even bigger. Cougars do score a run. So Rollinson scores from third. But Bristow is on board with a base hit, and that brings up number 3, Miles Prusek, the second baseman. And he lines a ball also in between the first baseman and the second baseman. Fielded cleanly by Nate Jensen, the right fielder, and he throws it into the shortstop. So 2 consecutive pitches, 2 consecutive hits in the same exact spot. So again, the Cougars have 2 men on base, and this brings up their right fielder, Silas Gathme. Gathme. Not sure how you pronounce your last name, Silas, so we'll call you Silas. Silas is up with 2 on, 2 outs. Dolphins leading 2-1 here in the second inning. And time is called by the home plate umpire. And nice curveball for a strike. We've got the Dolphins ladies varsity soccer field behind us, and you might hear some of that noise in our broadcast as well. And they are no score in their game. But we've got a 1-1 count with 2 on, 2 outs here in the second. 2-1 Dolphins over the Cougars from Collegiate High School in Richmond. And there is a call strike on the outside corner. Garrison going to some off-speed pitches now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. To the right fielder, Silas. And he takes for a call, strike 3, right down the middle. So little damage done. The Cougars do come up with 1 run on 3 hits. 4 hits. So 4 hits in the inning, but a big double play turned by Yoon to Martinez to White. 6-4-3. And that was a big defensive play by the Dolphins. So after 2-1. So here we go. Bottom of the second inning. Nate Jensen, the right fielder, will lead off. Nate's batting .323 on the season. 10 runs, 10 hits, 2 RBIs, 4 doubles. And he takes ball 1 from Malcolm Pace. Nate swings and fouls that one off back behind the catcher for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs. 2-1 Cape Henry Dolphins over the Collegiate Cougars. And there's a nice off-speed pitch that Jensen was a little bit in front of for the second strike of his at-bat. Fouls it back again. Taylor on deck for the Dolphins. He's the DH today. He's hitting for the pitcher, Garrison White. Ball up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pace threw a lot of pitches in the first inning. Dolphins came up with 2 runs and left 2 on. We'll see how he fares through the rest of this game. And Jensen skies one up. And a bunch of Cougars converge, but it's behind the dugout. So Jensen gets new life with 2 balls and 2 strikes on him. Ball high. So Jensen works the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. No outs. 2-1 Dolphins. And here's the payoff pitch, and it's foul back. We'll do it again, and this time he strikes out on a curveball on the outside corner, and home plate umpire Stan has been calling that so far today, so Jensen should not be surprised, and that's out number 1, strikeout looking, and that brings up the DH, number 20, Trey Taylor. He fouls it back, ball 1. Fouls it back, ball 2. We'll do it again, and this time 2 strikes on Taylor, and he strikes out on an outside low pitch. Swinging. So 2 Dolphins up, 2 Dolphins struck out. Now go back to the top of the order, Chris Martinez. Chris singled his first time up. Chris is batting .435. He's been in 7 games this year. He's got 10 hits and 8 RBIs as a leadoff hitter. He takes ball 1. Chris is a true freshman. He fouls that one way back, past the tennis courts and the Cape Henry Lower School playground. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Martinez is also an excellent honors biology student. We'll see if he can evolve here, since we're doing evolution now, into a base runner. From the batter to a runner. He's got a 2-2 count with 2 outs. And he takes ball 3 up and out. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Malcolm Pace looking to go 1-2-3 here in this inning compared to the first inning. And he walks him. Ball 4. So Martinez draws a walk, and he does evolve from a hitter to a base runner. Brings up the third baseman, senior Jack Wickham. Jack struck out looking his first time at bat. We'll see if he's got a better fare here. And they got Martinez hung up, and he gets in there. The pitcher threw over to first baseman, so they had Martinez, but the first baseman couldn't get the ball out of his glove. And by the time he did and threw over to the shortstop, Martinez, who's had excellent speed on this team, slid under the tag, and he's there at second base. So Dolphins put on a steal and executed it despite the Cougars knew it was coming and they couldn't still get him out. And Wickham now stands in with a possible RBI opportunity with a base hit here. And he's ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. And Jack hits a soft grounder back to the pitcher, who runs it over to first base, and down he goes. So the Dolphins come up with a walk and a steal, but they leave Martinez stuck at second base, and they'll go down in the second inning with no runs and no hits. So after 2, we've got a good ball game going here. 2 runs for the Dolphins, 1 run for the Collegiate Cougars, and we'll come back with the third inning in a minute. So here we go. Start at the top of the third. And we have the top of the order, Hank Shield, the center fielder, leading off for the Cougars from Collegiate. And Hank takes down ball 1. Garrison White still on the bump for the Dolphins. Garrison has given up 4 hits and 1 run. He's down and away for ball 2. Takes it down and away for ball 3. Three balls, no strikes. Top of the third. Here we are. Cape Henry of 2 runs. Collegiate 1. There's a ground ball to the second baseman, Martinez. He comes up with it cleanly and fires over to first base, White, for the first out of the inning. That brings up Hartley Rahman. Hartley's the shortstop, and he struck out his first time at bat. He takes a nice curveball on the inside corner for strike 1. Still no score in the Lady Dolphins varsity soccer game. There's a ball on the inside corner. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Park. Ball low. So Garrison falls behind 2-1 to Rahman. And there's a strike. Not sure if that was a called strike for the swing or just a call strike or the swing, but either way, it's a strike in the book. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the pitch, and that's just off the outside corner. Home plate umpire has been calling that when it's a little closer. That ball was definitely off the outside corner for ball 3. So full count, 1 out, and the payoff pitch. And that's lined to the center fielder. Andrew Hart, number 4, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. In previous broadcasts, you've heard us talk about Andrew Hart and the speed that he carries out there in center field. He covers a lot of ground and has a very good perception when that ball leaves the bat, whether to go up, back, or left, right. All right, that brings up Carter Mitchell, the left fielder. Carter grounded out to the shortstop his last time up, and he swings and fouls it back for strike 1. Hayden Rollinson is in the hole. No runners on for the Cougars, and they're down by a run, 2-1. Wind is blowing in pretty much straight from center field, so any ball that is going to try to get out of this park, which the fences are about 330 feet away from home plate, is going to have to be hit pretty hard. The wind is virtually blowing directly in now. And there's a foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Carter Mitchell, the left fielder. We're somewhat lucky here at Cape Henry Collegiate where the sun is to our back. We're in center field. Not so great for the hitters. Good for the defense. And there's a foul ball down the left field line just past third. So the sun is not in our eyes, it's at our back. One ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Mitchell flies it up, and we'll see if Jensen has it, but it looks like he's going to run out of room in right field, and he does, and that ball goes into the lower school playground, where it will be recycled back into this game. Looks like the middle school baseball team has taken on the responsibility of getting all the balls out of the playground and bringing them back into our playing field here on the varsity field. And the pitch. And that's a beautiful off-speed pitch down the middle, and Garrison White gets Mitchell strike out swinging. So 3 up, 3 down for the Cougars. And that's the end of the top half of the third inning. And that brings up the Cape Henry Dolphins, and leading off will be their number 3 hitter, Tanner Shadle, their number 4 hitter, Cooper Angley, and their number 5 hitter, Parker White. We'll be right back. So here we go. Bottom of the third. Cape Henry Collegiate up 2-1 over Collegiate School in Richmond. Tanner Shadle's up to bat. Tanner is hitting .429 in 8 games. He's only played in 8 games because he got hit in the mouth by an errant throw earlier in the season and spent a week and a half on the DH while they put teeth back in and braced him up. But he's back out here now. And he fouls one back into the net. Tanner hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. He's got 9 hits and 9 RBIs on the season. And he takes low and outside, ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dolphins trying to get their leadoff batter on board. Tanner was Mr. Everything last year, offensively. And there's a long fly, but that is not going to get out. As I said, the wind is blowing in, and the left fielder camps under it. And that's a catch by Carter Mitchell. So Tanner hit the ball well, just not well enough today on a windy day, blowing in. And that's going to go down as a F7, out number 1. Brings up the catcher, Cooper Angley. Cooper singled his last time up and scored. He scored on Andrew Hart's base hit. Takes low for ball 2. Takes up high, ball 3. So Angley ahead of the count, 3 balls, no strikes with 1 out. Don't think they'll give him a green light here. Try to let him see another pitch and maybe get on base free. And he takes it. It is a strike on the outside corner. Strike 1. And he takes ball 4 high. So Angley draws a walk from Malcolm Pace. And so the Dolphins have a runner on, and that'll bring up Parker White, the power hitter, left-handed power hitter for the Dolphins. Last time Parker, he walked and was stranded at second base. So we'll see if Parker can get a hold of one here, or at least get the ball out of the infield and move Angley over. Cooper not known for the speed. And Parker White takes a swing and a miss there. Angley's got his father's speed, which is negligible. And his father will tell you, not the quickest runner in his day. Probably not the brightest bulb out there either, but we'll leave that up to him. So Angley on first. White looks, and he takes outside, ball 3. Excuse me, ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Angley on first. Takes outside again. There's ball 3. So Parker's got a 3-1 count. They probably will give him the green light. He makes contact, and he's a very powerful hitter, so we'll see if he can get a hold of one. And he does, and he grounds it to the second baseman, and the ball goes off his shoulder, and that is going to be an error on the second baseman. Angley with a beautiful slide to avoid both the tag and get into second base. So Cooper showing a little skills there with his sliding technique. And Parker White is aboard on an error by the second baseman. Angley at second, Parker White at first, and that brings up the center fielder, Andrew Hart, who singled his first time up and drove Angley in. So Angley again at second, Hart at the plate, and we'll see if he can repeat his performance. And instead he lays down a beautiful bunt to the pitcher, and he's not going to make that play. Great bunt. We're going to give him a single on that. That was just a beautiful bunt for a hit there, and that moves everybody over a base, and now the bases are loaded. for the Dolphins and brings up their shortstop, Yoon Chi, and Yoon is struck out in the first inning, and we're going to have a timeout here. Coach Slater of Collegiate is going to pull his troops in with the bases loaded, 1 out, down 2-1. And they're going to talk about it. Two of the 3 base runners for the Dolphins are going to go over and talk it over with their third base coach. Minute Andrew laid that bunt down, unless the pitcher or the catcher are incredibly quick and turn, they're not going to get him. Andrew's got the best speed on this team. He might be the fastest person in Cape Henry Collegiate, outside of Mr. Angley, of course. So here we go. 1 out, 2-1 Dolphins, bases loaded. Shortstop Yoon is up. And we'll see if the Dolphins can manufacture a run here. Pace has got to put the ball in play because there's nowhere to go. There's no free bases, and he throws an outside strike. And again, the home plate umpire has been very generous on the outside corner, and he proves it there again for strike 1 on Yoon. He's been calling it both ways, and that's all you can ask for in a home plate umpire, for consistency, and he has been. And Yoon swings through that off-speed pitch for strike 2. I think Yoon was guessing fastball. He got a curveball, and he did not handle it. So 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. Dolphins up 2-1 here in the bottom of the third. And the pitch. And he golfs the ball up, and it's going to go over the second baseman's head. And there's a beautiful drop-in play, and all the Dolphins advance. And the center fielder, number 14, Hank Shield, tried to fake like he had it all the way, and he did not. And so Yoon comes up with a big base hit, scores Angley from third, moves White over to third, moves Hart to second. And so Yoon is on base with an RBI, and that brings up Nate Jensen, the right fielder. Nate struck out looking his last time up. We'll see what he can do with the bases loaded, and he swings and misses on an outside pitch for strike 1. So the Dolphins get another run here in the third. So they lead this game 3-1. Good situational hitting by the Dolphins. That was a beautiful ball put in play by Yoon. He didn't try to overhandle it. He just placed it in play. This is a ball a mile high that the shortstop, number 4, is going to call and make the catch, and that is Hartley Rahman, and he makes the catch for the second out. So Jensen flies out to the shortstop, and that brings up Trey Taylor. Taylor struck out his first time at bat. So the Dolphins, with the bases loaded and 2 outs, looking to capitalize a little more. And Taylor sends one right up the middle, but it's off the mound to the second baseman. No luck there for him. The mound slowed it up, and the second baseman scooped it up. And that's Miles Prusik for the third out. So that's 4 unassisted, and Taylor is gone. So he's made the last out in the last inning. So we'll go back to the top of the lineup for the Dolphins in the 4th inning. But they score a run, and they now lead 3 runs to 1 going into the 4th. All right, so here we go. Top of the fourth. Collegiate Cougars are going to send up their third baseman, Hayden Rawlinson. Hayden singled and scored the only run for the Cougars in the second inning. He'll be followed by Callahan at first and Slater, the catcher. Garrison White is on the bump for the fourth inning, and he starts him off with a nice pitch down low that Rawlinson golfs into the net over by the Cape Henry Dolphin side for strike one. And he hits him. So Rawlinson gets hit by a pitch, sort of leaned in and threw his left arm in there. And I think the umpires are going to talk about that. It looked like he didn't, not only did he not try to get out of the way, he actually leaned in and put his arm in there. And a very quick conversation between Stan and Frank, and the net result is runner on first. That play is very, very rarely overturned. Almost written in stone. So here we go. Runner on first. Callahan, the first baseman, up. He singled his last time up. And this has been the part of the order that has done damage for the Cougars. And both Rawlinson and Callahan singled their last times up. And here we are again with a runner on first and Callahan up. 3-1 Dolphins here in the top of the fourth. White sends it over. Rawlinson is back. Nice pitch by White there. An off-speed curveball on the outside corner for a swinging strike. So 2 strikes ahead of Callahan, with Rawlinson standing at first base. We have no outs here in the top of the fourth. Just off the outside corner, ball 1. White sends it back over. And Parker White dropped the ball. I don't think they had him anyway. And Rawlinson is getting quite a bit of the Cape Henry dirt over there. Might have to charge him a fee if he leaves the field with some of that infield. Callahan steps out, regroups, steps back in. We do not have a pitch clock here at high school level. As many of you watching this broadcast will recognize pitch clock now in the major leagues and minor leagues, but we don't have one here, and you'll see a lot more time taken. There's a ball way outside, and it goes behind Angley, but he comes up throwing anyway, and he actually throws a beautiful strike to Martinez at second. And Coop got that ball off of the backstop, the padding back there. It went right to his glove. He just turned around and fired a strike, a dart, to the second baseman, Martinez, and Rawlinson is out, caught stealing. Nothing he could do. The backstop is not very deep here at Cape Henry Collegiate. Probably, if I had to guess, maybe 5 yards. And that ball ricocheted right back to Cooper, and he threw a fireball down to second base, and out went Rawlinson. So Callahan's still up. He's got a full count now with 1 out, nobody on, and he takes ball 4. So good timing for Angley's throw down to first base, but the Cougars get another base runner on anyway on a walk by Callahan, and that'll bring up the catcher Slater, and Slater hit into that 6-4-3 double play in the second inning that was so instrumental in the Dolphins keeping the runs down on that potentially explosive inning. So we'll see what he has in store here. And they steal and a swing, and this one is not going to be in time. Nice play by Martinez at second, but throw was low and on the wrong side of the base for that one. Callahan got a great jump, so there's a stolen base there. So runner on second with Slater, the catcher, swinging through that pitch. So runner on second, 1 out, 1 strike. Cape Henry leading 3-1 here in the top of the 4th. And everybody steps off. No chance for the double play here. Not the conventional double play, at least. And Garrison throws a beautiful curveball that's fouled off the right side for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes on the catcher, Slater. Wind picking up here, and there's another foul ball back. Still blowing from left to right and in a bit. Garrison pitch count starting to get up now for himself as well. Takes a long look over to second base, another long look, and he delivers anyway and throws the ball high. So that's the first ball on Slater. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that was a little high. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swinging strike. Slater strikes out. Nice pitch by Garrison there. So there's the second out of the inning. And that brings up Jet Bristow. Bristow's the DH, and he singled his last time up. So Callahan's still hanging out at second base. Bristow, the DH, is coming up with a chance to get another run in. Garrison White steps off here. 2 outs. Top of the 4th, Dolphins ahead, 3-1 here in the 757 Cape Henry Collegiate Varsity Baseball Field. And the pitch. Ball inside. Callahan with a sizable lead at second, and they step off and get him back over. And the pitch. And there's a beautiful curveball. Call for a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. So Garrison White trying to get out of the inning here with no damage done. Callahan at second, taking a big lead. Nice off-speed outside corner again for a swinging strike there. So Garrison's got the 1-2 count with 2 outs. Cooper Angley has already thrown out 2 runners here. So pretty sure the Cougars are not going to test his arm. Certainly not at third base. Although with a right-handed batter up, that is a tougher throw for the catcher. He's got to come up, step out, and throw. But they're keeping their eyes on Callahan at second. He's got a stolen base. So Garrison delivers and throws a beautiful curveball over for strike 3 swinging. So Garrison hits a batter, walks a batter, gets a batter caught stealing, and strikes out the last 2. No damage done. So no hits, no runs in the top of the 4th inning. And that'll bring up the Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins, leading 3-1. All right, so here we are in the bottom of the 4th, and we are in 2 balls and 1 strike to the batter. Top of the order, Chris Martinez, the second baseman. Swing and a strike, 2. Chris has singled and walked his first 2 times at bat. Takes ball inside. Catcher can't handle it. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Martinez at the second baseman, leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 4th inning on this beautiful, beautiful day. He fouls that one back. Want to welcome Linda Yang to the booth. Hello. Linda, senior tech extraordinaire for the CHC TV crew. Also, softball player. So I guess you just got out of practice? Mm-hmm. How are the Lady Dolphins doing in softball?
Really good year.
What's our record?
2 win, 1 tie, 1 lose.
Okay.
Got another game on the 11th against NA.
So Martinez walks. And that'll bring up the second batter of the inning and the third baseman, Jack Wickham. Wickham struck out looking and grounded back to the pitcher his last time up. Martinez has some speed over there. Not sure if the Dolphins will start anything, and Pace sends the ball over anyway. Malcolm Pace has been the starter today, the left-hander. He's thrown a pretty efficient game. He's gotten himself into some trouble, but has gotten out of most of it. Down 3-1, but has pitched a decent game so far, and he throws ball outside there. So there's the first pitch to Wickham, and it's ball outside. All the hits in this game have been singles, most of them through the infield, just a couple to reach the outfield. So both pitchers have done a nice job of keeping the ball, A, in play, and B, not very well hit. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Wickham, and he shows bunt, and they got Martinez hung up again, and this time they got him out no problem. So that's the second time that they've done that, and Martinez, the first time, the first baseman couldn't get the ball out of his glove and got the stolen base. This time, not even close. So he's caught stealing, and that'll take him off the base pass, erase that, and Wickham is now up 1-1 with nobody on, and he takes ball outside. So the Dolphins being aggressive, and they are aggressive on the base paths. That one backfired a little bit there. Wickham swings through it. Maybe Wickham being 0 for 2. Coach Totello thought maybe get somebody moved over on their own, but it did not work out, and Martinez is erased. And Wickham lines the ball over the second baseman, and so that caught stealing certainly hurts the Dolphins. But Wickham is on with a base hit. 1 out, and that brings up the heart of the order for the Dolphins. Number 1, Tanner Shadle. And Tanner is 0 for 2 today. Fielder's choice and a fly ball to the left fielder. Throw over by Pace. Nothing on now. He throws ball outside. Tanner did score in the first inning. He reached on a fielder's choice and eventually did score. And there's a fly ball to the right fielder, and that is over his head. He stumbled a little bit, and that's going to get Wickham over to third, and Tanner stands up with a stand-up double. So that ball was well hit. The right fielder stumbled. I don't think he's getting there anyway. That ball was scalded to right field. Not high enough for a home run. We could see that from here, but that ball was definitely hit hard. And so Tanner's on board with a double. Wickham over at third, and that brings up the catcher, Cooper Angley, the senior. Coop's having a good day. Singled with a run scored in the first, walked and scored again in the third. So we'll see what he can do here in the fourth with runners at second and third. Base hit here, drives in 2. So certainly wants to get the ball out of the infield if he can. And he does. Well, he doesn't. He sends it a mile high and up, but it's going to be foul behind home plate. So Coop definitely trying to lift the ball, get the ball out of the infield. But that one did not work out so well. But it's just a foul ball, so a long strike 1. Wickham at third. Shadle at second. Foul back again. So Coop's down 0-2. Third time around seeing the pitcher, Malcolm Pace. Oh, 2, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Ball way outside. Wickham not lightning at third, so, and with the short backstop, as we have already mentioned here at Cape Henry Collegiate, even a pass ball is probably not getting him home unless it ricochets and goes off in one direction or the next. And Coop sends a little flare over the third baseman, and he bobbles it. And that's a tough play. So the third baseman was actually covering third, and Cooper sent the ball over his head, and he tried to make an over-the-shoulder catch like a football player, and he could not get it. The ball went off his heel, and so that's going to result in Wickham scoring. Tanner had to stay at second because the ball was at third base, and Cooper is on now, and that brings up the first baseman, Parker White, with 1 out, runners on first and second. We're going to wait for the official score to tell us what Angley got. Probably going to be ruled a hit. That was a tough play for the third baseman. And ball low. So, yes, the official scorer, yours truly, gave Cooper Angley a hit on that play. I'm sure he and the third baseman are happy. And now we have runners on first and second with one out, a run in, and Parker White stands in, and he fouls one way back. Parker walked and reached on an error his last 2 times up. Was stranded on second and stranded on third. And he lines the ball between first and second for a base hit, and that is going to get Shadle to home, and there is no chance getting him. Ball from the right fielder was off the line. Catcher Slater had to come out and make the play. Cooper moves all the way over to 3, so nice piece of hitting there by White, who singles. Gets Tanner home, moves Cooper over to third, and the Dolphins get another run, and now, with one out, runners on first and second, Andrew Hart stands in. Andrew's already got 2 hits on the day. His first hit was a nice single. The second one was a beautiful drag bunt down the third base line for a single. And now he stands in with runners on first and third. Parker White at first. We'll see if he gets a call to steal with only one out. Trying to get the runner at third home, maybe sneak him home. Instead, ball up and out. So Malcolm Pace, a little bit of a jam now. Cooper Angley at third. Again, we've talked about his speed, so we're not going to beat that dead horse anymore. And the pitch swung on and fouled back. Speaking of dead horses, the Kentucky Derby coming up soon. Not that the horses in the Kentucky Derby are dead, but... And there's another foul ball back by Andrew Hart. So Andrew's down 1 ball, 2 strikes here in the top of the 4th with 1 out. Dolphins are up 5-1. We've already got a crooked number up on the board here. And Hart takes low and inside ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 4th. Dolphins threatening again. Cougars from Collegiate trying to get out of this jam. And Andrew fouls it back again. A couple of defensive swings there by Andrew. I think at this point he's in contact mode. Just trying to put the ball in play, maybe get something that Angley at third can run home on. And instead he drives the ball over the first baseman's head for a single. And that will get Angley home. And that'll get Parker over to third. And with his 3rd hit of the game, Andrew Hart is becoming an offensive juggernaut. So he gets an RBI. That's his 2nd of the game. And the center fielder, number 4, Andrew Hart, the junior, has come up big here in this game. And looks like that's going to be all for Malcolm Pace. And Coach Slater comes out and makes the call. And I think he makes the call. Yep, looks like they're bringing somebody in. Their gloves are being exchanged. And that's going to do it. So Malcolm Pace exits down 6-1. Leaves runners at first and third with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. And I'll give you the new pitcher in a second. It looks like it's going to be number 16. Oh, excuse me. It's going to be number 10. And number 10 is the right fielder. So he'll come on to pitch now. Silas Gathme. He'll come on to pitch. And the new right fielder, who will come on for Malcolm Pace's position, is number 1. And that'll be Will Quinby. So Quinby will come in at right field. Silas, the right fielder, will move to pitcher. He'll retain his place in the order, I would imagine. And so Silas Gathme is pitching. The right fielder is now the pitcher. And up for the Dolphins will be the shortstop, Yoon. Yoon singled his last time up, struck out his first time up. And so Yoon will be up with a man on first and third. One out here in the top of the fourth, and the Dolphins have already scored 3. And just from the warm-up pitches, Silas might have a little work ahead of him. But none of those count, and this one does. So here we go. Catcher Slater comes out behind the plate, and he's giving the signs, telling everybody what the indicator is. Since you have a new pitcher and runners on first and third. So Parker White at third, Andrew Hart, who just singled on first, and Andrew will definitely steal here. And they try to do the old third to first play, and I've seen it work, never in person, but I've seen it work on TV and this broadcast. And the pitch, and swing and a miss, strike one. Nice fastball. No balls, 1 strike. Ball way outside. 1-1. Hart at first. Parker White at third. 1 out. Shortstop at bat. We'll see if Andrew gets a jump here. He doesn't. And the ball is called on inside corner for a strike. So we've got 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3 runs in. 1 out. Runners on the corner. And the pitch. And he swings and misses. And Yoon strikes out there for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Nate Jensen. Jensen struck out looking and flied out to the shortstop his last time at bat. We'll see if the Dolphins can add to their lead here with a base hit or some sort of, and there goes Hart, and they throw it down to the pitcher. Nice play there, but not fooling Parker White at third. He didn't have a big jump anyway. So Andrew gets the stolen base, moving down to second. That takes the force play out of hands there. So Jensen is now up with Mans on second and third. And he takes ball up and in. Ball 2. So Gathme pitching now for the Cougars. A little bit of a jam. We'll see what he can wiggle out of. And there's a ground ball, but that's going to be to the second baseman, who comes up cleanly and throws it over to first for the third out of the inning. But the Dolphins come up with 3 runs on 4 hits, a stolen base, and after 4 innings, the home team, Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins, leads 6-1. And coach is out there talking to the umpire, so we'll probably have some different Dolphins coming out this inning. In the meantime, on the other side, the top of the 5th, it'll be their second baseman, Miles Prusik, leading off. And we do have a new pitcher. Tana Shadle is now in pitching for Garrison White. So Shadle, who was the left fielder, is now the pitcher. And in left field, we've got Garrison White. So left fielder and pitchers just exchanged positions. I know you can't see it, but the Lady Dolphins have a penalty kick in their soccer game. And we're waiting to see if the referee in the soccer game places the ball before the next batter comes up, and he's taking his time explaining to everybody. Jillian Summers, the senior captain on the soccer team, is going to take her kick here. And we're all watching this wonderful soccer game. It's rare you see a penalty kick, and she blasts it into the net, and the Lady Dolphins get a penalty kick goal with 5:14 left in theirs. Come to Cape Henry on a Thursday afternoon. You'll see it all. All right, here we are, top of the fifth. Miles Prusik, the second baseman, facing Tana Shadle, the new pitcher for the Dolphins. So the left fielder and the pitcher exchanged places and leads him off with a fastball that Prusik fouls off back for strike one. Strike down the middle. Swinging strike, strike two. Tanner's got a little more oomph on his pitches than Garrison White does. Garrison more of a finesse. Tanner more of a here it comes, good luck. And here it comes, and nice bat on ball. And so Garrison mishandles it a little bit in left field, but comes up with it firing. So Pusick is aboard on a nice base hit over the shortstop. And so the Cougars have their first runner aboard. And that'll bring up their new pitcher, but still was their right fielder. And this is Silas Gathme, and he takes strike one on the outside corner. Silas has struck out his only other time up this game. Swinging strike two. He's the 9-hitter for the Collegiate Cougars. Ball way outside. Tanner's got a unique windup in that he doesn't really use a ton of leg strength here. Everything is from the waist up. He's pitching from the stretch with a runner on. And there's a hard ball hit into the playground. Luckily, nobody hurt over there. Still got 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs, runner on first. 6-1 Dolphins over the Collegiate Cougars here in the top of the fifth. And we are almost at 6 o'clock. Oh, this game is taking a little bit longer. Maybe the pitch clock in high school would not be a bad idea. But we're off tomorrow. Friday is a holiday. It's Good Friday. And it is a holiday here at Cape Henry, so we got all the night in the world. And there's a ball way over. Almost hit his head for ball 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a beautiful curveball on the inside corner for strike 3. So that was a nice pitch right there. So there's our first out of the inning. Runner still at first, and that brings back up the top of the order. Hank Shield, the center fielder. Hank has flied out to left and grounded out to the second baseman his first 2 times at bat. Andrew Hart shaded a little bit towards left, the center fielder for the Dolphins. And Shadle just throws the ball between his legs. And here we go. And the ball again goes to the backstop. Angley comes up with it and throws a nice ball down to second, where it was actually on the wrong side of the bag for the shortstop, Yoon. He picked it off, turned, spun, tagged out the runner, and now we have 2 outs. And just like that, defense comes up big again. So caught stealing is Pusick with 2 outs now, and a 1 ball, 1 count strike, 1 ball, 1 strike count for Shield, the center fielder. So the Cougars have ran themselves out of a lot of situational baseball here in this game. And Angley's having a day back there. Helped greatly by the CHC padded backstop. If I didn't know any better, I think they might practice that. And if they don't, they shouldn't, because Cooper's got it down to a science. He's playing the angles like he's in geometry again, which I believe Cooper took 3 times. No, just kidding. Once was enough, as he would always say about his math classes. So here we go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and just a bit outside. Tana decided to throw that one to the backstop himself. So we got a full count with 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the 5th. And follows that up with a nice inside pitch, and Jack Wickham, the third baseman, takes his time and throws a dart to first base Parker White, and that's it. So 3 up, 3 down with a little bit of drama. But in the books it goes, with the Cape Henry Dolphins leading 6-1 after 5.5. We'll be back in a minute. Well, for a 6-1 game, it's a little exciting at least. So here we go, bottom of the 5th inning, and Taylor leads off, and it looks like we have a new batter, and that is, or that was, Garrison White. So Garrison came in for the DH there. So Taylor is now out of the game. And Garrison grounds it out for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Chris Martinez. Freshman having a good day with a base hit and 2 walks. Made some nice plays in the field at second base. He comes up with nobody on and a 2-0 count, 1 out. And he takes high, ball 3. Takes one right down the middle, strike 1. And he takes a walk. So Martinez is aboard, second batter of the inning with a walk here. And that'll bring up Jack Wickham, the third baseman, who made a nice play that last inning for the third out. We'll see if they send Martinez. Martinez has already been caught stealing once. He's got a stolen base, but he's been caught once as well. This time he's not facing Malcolm Pace, the lefty, who actually caught him twice, but the first time the first baseman didn't get the ball out of his glove, so Martinez was safe. Second time he was dead to rights, didn't even slide. So we'll see what the Dolphins do here. Coach Dotello is pretty aggressive with his base runners, especially with his quick runners, Martinez, Hart, Shadle. So we'll see if he risks it. He's up 6-1. It's very possible he'll put something on, but we'll see. And Gaffney throws over, ball one. So Silas is the new pitcher of record from last inning. He's already got a man on now, facing Wickham for the first time, and he throws a ball low inside. 2 balls, no strikes. That ball is high. 3 balls, no strikes. I think the Dolphins have learned their lesson with Martinez to not send him and let Wickham do his job there. And again, Jack, pretty good hitter, hitting .321. He takes a ball right down the middle for strike 1. So no green light for Jack there. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. 6-1, bottom of the 5th. 6-1 Dolphins over the Cougars. Throw over, Martinez is back. And Wickham sends a high fly ball to the right fielder, who's drifting over to the line and can't make the play. Ball bounced just inside of the fence, and the new right fielder, who is Will Quinby, made a nice attempt, got over there, but ran out of real estate. So that's nothing but a long strike 2. So full count, 1 out. Wickham at bat. Again, Jack is struck out looking, grounded out to the pitcher, and singled his last time up, and this time he takes ball 4 on the outside. So the Dolphins have 2 runners on board now, both on walks, the last 2 batters, and that brings up the new pitcher of record, Tanner Shadle. Tanner has hit into a force play. He's flied out to the left fielder and singled. He takes ball 1 up. Actually, Tanner walked his last time up. So here we go. Runners on first and second for the Dolphins. And Tanner takes a beautiful pitch right down the middle. Strike 1. Cooper Angley in the hole. And Tanner fouls off that off-speed pitch behind him for 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Silas has settled down a little bit. He's ahead of the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tanner. Takes way outside. Catcher came up nice. Slater came up nice, looking to throw down, trying to get Martinez off second base, but that would have been a way long throw. Martinez way too quick for that. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Tanner Shadle up at bat. Runners on first and second. Base hit here should drive home Martinez if he gets a good jump. And he takes a nice curveball by Silas on the outside corner there for strike 3. So Tanner goes down, striking out looking. Good pitch there. Really good pitch there by Silas. So he's got 2 outs now. Runners still at first and second, and that brings up Angley. And Cooper's having a good day behind the plate and at the plate, and he takes strike 1 down the middle. Cooper's got 2 hits and a walk, and has scored all 3 times he's been on base. So looking to do a little more magic here is the senior. And takes a nice curveball on the inside corner for strike 2. Good time here for Cooper to really get his bat into one. Again, wind blowing in, but a base hit will score Martinez, and he swings and check swings for a strike, and they'll throw over to first base, and he'll be out there string strike. So he strikes out. So 2 runners on, but they are standing there at the end of the 5th inning, and that's going to do it there. So after 5, 6-1 Dolphins, and I know you're all on your edges of your seats. The Lady Dolphin soccer team did win 1-0 on Jillian Summers' beautiful penalty kick. The senior put the ball in the net when she had to, and now she's leaving the field with more ice on her than is in the whole entire Arctic. So Jillian did her part, and now she's going to go home and recover for a month. We'll be back for the 6th inning in a minute. Outs away from the win. All right, here we go. Top of the 6th. Got a couple of alumni back here from Cape Henry. Ashley Correa and Josh Holland. Josh was on the state championship Cape Henry Dolphins last year, the baseball team. He's in town with Ashley Correa. Good to see Josh and Ashley back. And Tanner starts off with a strike 1 fastball. Shortstop, Hartley Rahman is up. Hartley struck out and flied out to the center fielders last time up. Grounds the ball back. Strike 2. Ooh, off-speed pitch just missed on the inside corner. Hartley jumped out of the way like the ball was going to hit him, and it curved right back into the inside corner, but Stan, the man behind home plate, did not call that one up, and so we have 1 ball, 2 strikes, and that ball's just off the outside corner for 2 balls and 2 strikes. And this time he does get him on a nice outside fastball. So Rahman strikes out. There's the first out in the inning, though. Brings up the left fielder, Carter Mitchell. Carter hit into a 6-3 ground ball to the shortstop and a strikeout, his first and second time up in this game. So he's up for the first time against Tanner and takes a strike on the outside corner. And there's a ball inside corner. This time, home plate umpire gives it to him, so he gets a strike there. So no balls, 2 strikes. On Mitchell, the left fielder, Cougars are down to their last 5 outs of this game, and they're losing 6-1. And there's a swing and a strike, and that's the second out of the inning. Tanner's doing the inside-outside game with his pitches, and they are very effective. Setting the batters up on the inside and the outside corners, and he's got them guessing, and he's now going to face his third batter, Hayden Rawlinson. Hayden singled his first time up, was hit by a pitch his second time up, was caught stealing when Angley took that ball off the backstop and fired a dart down to Martinez at second. And there's another one off the backstop at this time. Angley doesn't have to do anything with it because there's nobody out there. So he just goes and corrals that ball and carefully and delicately throws it back to the pitcher. One of the few times catchers get to do that, when the ball rolls almost back to the mound. And the pitch. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop. Yoon backs up quite a bit, but he throws over way in time. Yoon was basically on the outfield grass, and he came up with it and just threw a beautiful Cal Ripken-esque throw. Cal Ripken has done that, well, did that his whole career, and just got up, get the ball out of your glove, and make a nice, easy throw over to first base, beat the guy by half a step, but it's enough. And Yoon did that. And so the Cougars, needing something in the sixth inning, go 1-2-3. And credit Tanner Shadle with 2 strikeouts and a ground out to the shortstop. So the Dolphins will now come up in the bottom of the sixth, see if they can add to their 6-1 lead. And then we'll have 3 more outs for the Cougars, and we will start our 4-day Passover, Ramadan, and Easter weekend. Wind has actually died down a little bit. Getting a little overcast, but still sunny. Again, want to shout out our tech team here. Wyatt controlling the board now. Brianna on camera, and Sarah's on her phone, which is what Sarah does. Sarah's working audio, making sure I don't say anything stupid, which I have a tendency to do. Both. I flamed Cooper. I did flame Cooper. I'm good for one Angley flame a game. I think whether it's Mr. or younger, it doesn't matter. Luckily, Mrs. Cooper. Who is Mrs. Cooper, by the way? Well, and there's a first pitch hit on the foot, and that would be Parker White, and he did get hit, and he's going to limp himself down to first base, and I'm no medical expert, but I think he's hurt. And looks like the Dolphins are going to take time here, and I think I think Parker took that one like right off the toe, and he's going to try and stay in. But with a 6-1 lead, I'm sure Coach doesn't want to pull him, but it is the last inning, and Coach yelled over and said, "Are you okay?" And of course, like all good high school baseball players, he's fine. He's only got one leg left, but he'll stay. And here we go. And there's a strike on the outside corner, and that brings up Andrew Hart. Andrew, 3 for 3. And a stolen base. And he takes a ball right down the middle for strike 2. So Hart in a little bit of a 0-2 camp here. Takes strike. Ooh, never mind. Ball on the outside corner. Was a strike earlier in this game. But Andrew gets a little break there, and he's got 1 ball, 2 strikes with a runner on first. And he swings through that off-speed pitch for strike 3. So Andrew goes down for the first time today after 3 base hits. Parker White still at first, probably internally hoping that he doesn't have to run. We know he's not going to be stealing since he's really just got 1 foot that works. And they throw over there, which is just adding insult to injury. No pun intended. And Silas Gaffney throws over there. If they think he's stealing, they obviously didn't see him get hit on the foot like we did. But otherwise, the shortstop, Yoon, is up. Yoon struck out, singled, and struck out. So, following trends, we should get a single here. And he takes ball up for ball one. Bottom of the sixth, 6-1, Dolphins. There's a strike low on the inside corner, but the home plate umpire Stan thought it was good enough. And so we have a 1-1 count with one out. Parker White at first. And the pitch, way outside. Nice play by the catcher, Will Slater. Two balls, one strike. Yoon made a nice play in the last half of the inning at short, and that ball was up a little bit. I'm sure the Cougars would have liked to have seen that pitch called strike three, but it's not. So we have 3 balls, 1 strike, or strike 2 that would have been. And this time Yoon drills the ball over third, and Parker White is going to test the left fielder, and he does, and he gets home. He gets to third, and so Yoon gets a base hit, moves to second on the throw from the left fielder. I think the left fielder got a little crossed up because Parker, rounding second base, kind of hesitated like he wasn't going to go. The left fielder looked up, saw Parker hesitating, and then Parker took off. And on 1 foot, got all the way to third base. So Yoon comes up with a base hit as we predicted. Strikeout, base hit, strikeout, base hit. And so now he's at second. Parker White at third, and that brings up the right fielder, Nate Jensen, with runners at second and third. And Nate takes a curveball for strike 1. Jensen struck out looking, flew out to the shortstop, and grounded out to the second baseman. So Nate 0 for 3. Definitely would like to get something here, either a fly ball deep or something through the infield. Try to get Parker home. Takes the ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. And it's fouled out into the playground. So Jensen swings through that pitch and strikes out. So Nate goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. Still 2 runners on, and that brings up, looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. It looks like it might be Ryan Hummel coming in for Garrison White. For the second out of the inning, still 2 runners on, and that brings up, looks like we're going to have a pitch hitter here. It looks like it might be Ryan Hummel coming in for Garrison White. And it is going to be the sophomore, Ryan Hummel, number 27, left-handed batter. So he'll come in and hit for Garrison White. And he takes ball inside. So 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here in the Last half of the 6th inning, Dolphins leading 6-1 over the Collegiate High School Cougars. And Hummel drives a ball foul. Ryan's batting .151 with 2 hits and an RBI. He's got a double on those 2 hits. We'll see what he does here. And he takes way high outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Silas Gathme still pitching. He came in the 4th, relieved Malcolm Pace. And now he's out there trying to keep the Dolphins from tacking on any more runs here in the 6th. Throws the ball up and out for ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Ryan Hummel. Yoon at second. Parker White at third. And there's a ball right down the middle that Hummel fouls back. I think Ryan would like to see that pitch again. That ball was right down the middle and did not move. Parker White seems to be limping less since he's been on the base pass for a little bit of a time now. And there's a ball inside, and that's ball 4. So Ryan Hummel comes in, and he draws a 2-out walk, and that'll bring the bases loaded. And now we go back to the top of the order, and Chris Martinez is up. Martinez has singled, walked, and walked. So the freshman, Chris, has been on base all 4 times. We'll see if he can reach for the 5th straight time with the bases loaded. He takes ball low. Nowhere to go. So the pitcher for the Cougars has to do something with Martinez here, who has been on base all 4 times. Walked the last 3, so he's got a good eye. And he takes a ball right down the middle for a swing and foul into the tennis courts for strike 1. Nobody on the tennis courts right now. Ball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Coach Slater now is going to come out for the Cougars, and he's going to want to talk to his pitcher. He knows that this is a critical point in this ball game. If they want to have any chance at all, they've got to get Martinez out here. 6-1 lead. Dolphins bases loaded. After Martinez comes Wickham, Shadle, and Angley, and that's your 2, 3, and 4 hitter. And so Slater comes out. Little word of encouragement to Silas. Tells him, get this guy out or you're walking home. And from here to Richmond, that's a walk. Only kidding. Coach Slater has got the Cougars in first place in the state of Virginia, so he's doing plenty of things right. So let's see if his words of encouragement have helped. So here's the pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that's ball outside and in the dirt. But again, Parker White with only 1 wheel there at third base just looks amusingly at the commotion. And what do we got going on here? Parker White is sent home. Everybody is sent over 1. I'm not sure if a balk was called. I believe a balk was called. So 3 balls, 1 strike, and that got a run home. And so Parker White walks home, and good for him. And Chris Martinez fouls it back for a full count. So Parker gets a chance to walk home on a balk. Yoon moves over to third. Noah Hummel moves over to second. So the Dolphins do pick up another run here on a balk call. Ooh, and that one plunks Martinez right on the back. And the pitcher is definitely rattled now. Martinez is going to kind of limping, massage himself over there at first base. So the Dolphins have the bases loaded again. And here we go with 2 outs. And this inning is getting away from the Cougars now. And certainly getting away from Silas, the pitcher. Gathme is struggling now mightily on the mound. He can't find the plate. Balked in a batter. And now he's walked and hit 2 batters this inning and throws the ball high, but Wickham, the free swinging Jack Wickham, swings and fouls that one back. So Jack's got a hit in this game. He's got a walk his last time up, and he's up now with the bases loaded. And boy, a base hit will pretty much end this affair. And he does swing and ground ball through the second baseman for a hit. And Wickham does his job, and Hummel, with the wheels on, scores from second. Yoon walks in from third, and that's a 2-run RBI single for Jack Wickham, the third baseman. And that's going to do it for the pitcher for the Cougars, and I think at this time it's no mas. Tanner Shadle coming up to bat, but the Dolphins have put an exclamation on this ball game. They're up 9-1 now. Wickham with the dagger base hit between the second baseman and first baseman. Jack got a pitch he could handle. The Cougars pitcher was struggling, had to come in with a nice pitch, and Jack did his job, and that's that. Looks like the pitcher's going to go back out to right field where he was. So Silas Gathme will stay in the ball game. And it looks like Will Quinby is now going to move over to left field. Gathway moves back to right field, and the new pitcher is going to be, and we're waiting to see the back of his uniform, number 25, and that is the left fielder, Carter Mitchell. So Mitchell comes in, Quigby moves over to left, Gathme moves back from pitcher to right field. And if you haven't got all that, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm keeping the book, and we'll do all the heavy lifting for you here at the Cape Henry Collegiate Varsity Boys Baseball Field. We're coming up on a little past 6:30 in this ball game that is 9-1, and I believe if the Dolphins score 2 more runs, well, no, actually, that's not true. That's softball wishing. Mercy rule. I think at this point the Cougars would love to get back on that bus and head to Richmond. The good news is they've missed the traffic at the tunnel, so it won't be such a long ride home. It'll be a long ride home since they're losing 9-1, but at least they should get through the tunnel. Although this time Tuesday night, 264 West was closed. Because I know I was on it on the way to a Tides game. And the entire road was shut down while they searched for 4 knuckleheads that stole a car. They did get them. And I was just missing the first inning of the Tides game, which they lost. So an all-around crappy night. But tonight, a good one, 9-1. Bases first and second, and there's a swing and a foul ball back into the tennis courts for Tanner. Tanner's 0 for 4. He's scored twice. Martinez at second. Wickham at first. Wickham with the big base hit with the bases loaded. Mitchell pitching. He throws the ball down in the dirt for 3 balls and 1 strike. So 3-1, 2 outs. And there's a drive. And Tanner was out in front of that ball, and it was just a hair inside, but he just came around and leveled it past the third baseman, but foul. Good thing there were no Dolphins on third base. Parker White probably would be in the hospital right now. But instead, it's just a foul ball strike, and here's the pitch. And a swinging strike 3 on that pitch. Nice pitch there by Mitchell. So that's going to do it for the Dolphins. A swinging strike for Shadle, and that will be strikeout 3. So the Dolphins leading 9-1. Just need 3 outs to call it a game. 2 runs in the first for the Dolphins. Another in the third. 3 in the fourth. None in the fifth. And 3 more here in the sixth. So pretty prolific offense for the Dolphins again. A little bit of a slow start this season, but they've seemed to find their groove now. And the Cougars, who we mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, were almost scoring 10 runs a game, have only scored 1. Garrison White and Tanner Shadle doing a great job pitching. And looks like Tanner's going to take the ball for this 7th inning. Leading off for the Cougars in the 7th will be first baseman Callahan, the catcher Slater, and the DH Bristow. All right, well, here we go. Outfield is the same. Infield is the same. Catcher's the same. Pitcher's the same. So the Dolphins send out their defensive 9. And here we go, the last of the 7th inning, and that's going to bring up Jack Callahan, the first baseman. Jack has singled and walked in this game. He's only been up twice. And he takes ball 1. Pitch right down the middle, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 9-1. Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins in charge of this game over the Collegiate Cougars. And there's ball just outside. Andrew Hart shaded to left, anticipating Callahan not getting around on the ball, and Shadle does throw fast, and that's probably why, but Tanner misses high there, so 3 balls, 1 strike. Certainly don't want to walk the first batter on a 9-1 ball game. Just throw strikes and let your defense do what your defense does, and he misses way outside there for ball 4. So Callahan walks. He's on base, and that'll bring up Slater, the catcher. He hit into a double play in the 2nd inning and struck out in the 4th. So a runner on first. Nobody out here in the last of the 7th, 9-1. Dolphins playing for outs here. And there's a foul behind the screen. Strike 1. Slater's had a nice game behind the plate as well. He's thrown a couple of Dolphins out. And there's a ground ball, and that's going to be Parker White, and he'll just take it and tag out the the batter on his own. Again, runners really don't mean anything here. It's all about the outs. And so Slater grounds out, unassisted to 3. The first baseman, Parker White. And that brings up Jet Bristow, the DH. Jet's got a hit and a strikeout in this game. 1 out. 9-1. We'll see what the Cougars can do with a man on second. Tanner steps off. Not sure if he should even be looking behind him. I might even pitch from the windup at this point in a 9-1 game, but he'll get some work from the stretch, and he looks back and he fires in, and there's strike 1. And we're going to have a substitution here. So Callahan, the first baseman, the runner at second, is going to leave, and they're going to replace him with number 12. And number 12 is Harrison Baxter. And there's a ground ball in the hole, and Baxter went back, but he got to third anyway, so Bristow singles. Callahan is out, and Baxter is in. And he's now moved to third base. 1 out, runners on the corners. Tanner Shadle still pitching, 9-1. And up at bat now is the second baseman, Prusik. And he hits a high fly ball that the shortstop, Yoon, is behind, and he makes the play, and that's 2 outs. So Prusik flies out to the shortstop, and that brings up the right fielder and pitcher and right fielder, and hold on a second. It will not. So Gaffney is out, and they have another batter coming to bat, and that will be number... Trying to get the number for you here, folks. Might be number 19, but anyway, pitch hitter here for the Cougars. They're down to their last out. Runners on the corner, and he hits a line drive single to the right fielder, Jensen. That'll get a run in. And so the pitch hitter, and he is number 18, looks like now. And that was Nicholas Chambers. So Chambers just singled. And that brings up Hank Shield, the leadoff hitter. And he takes strike 1. So Baxter, the pitch runner, he scores. Bristow is at second. Chambers at first. And there's a ball that gets past and behind Angley. And so all the all the runners move up 1. On a wild pitch. So 1 ball, 1 strike. No balls and 2 strikes. So this might do it. And curveball that misses badly on the outside corner. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hank Shield. Hank is hitless at 3 at-bats this game. And that's going to do it. Strike 3. So Shadle comes in and gets the last man there, and that's going to do it. So the Dolphins give up 1 run here in the 7th inning, but they put a thrashing on the number 1 team in the state of Virginia, the Collegiate Cougars, 9-2. here on a Thursday evening at Cape Henry Collegiate. So I want to thank our crew here, Wyatt, Brianna, and Sarah, for a great job. I want to say thank you to the Cape Henry Collegiate field crew for getting our field in great shape. To our umpires, Frank and Stan, nice job to you guys. Get home safe to them, and also to the Cougars of Collegiate High School in Richmond. Thank you for coming out here to the 757. Hope you get a nice night drive home. Enjoy your long weekend if you have one like we do, and thank you all for joining us here on our CHC TV broadcast of the men's varsity baseball game. A 9-2 win, Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins over the Collegiate Cougars from Richmond.